What's up, nerds? My name is Brennan, the nerd of many faces, and to my right is Shane at FDScosplay, and for the first time to my left is the Sassyswede, and we are the Knights of Nerd. First and foremost, I want to send a personal thank you and welcome to the round table, Sassy.
Thanks.
I know. So it's like it's so hard to like get the sassy is just so abrupt.
The sassy. The sass.
Yes.
Always sass.
How have you two been? How has your weekend been? How has, like, since our production meeting, because we've had some homework, to say the least.
Lot, and I binged, which worked out. Actually, I enjoyed it more that way.
And Shane, what about you?
Binged, played lots of video games. I'm like totally engulfed in Forza right now. Forza Horizon. That game is so freaking amazing. It's so beautiful. It really is. Hades, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, so no, it's been good. It's actually been kind of quiet. It hasn't been so busy, which is really surprising considering that we got Comic-Con here in a couple weeks. So it's been kind of slow, but I mean, I've got so many events over the next few weeks. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with myself. So I'm just gonna take it one day at a time.
And then I got obsessed with dinosaurs in Jurassic Evolutions #2, which
I was on that stream.
Nice. So far so good. In all honesty,
is it? Okay.
I'm excited to see where things go, but you know, that is not why we are here today.
No.
It's like on today's episode of the Roundtable. We are here to discuss the new series from Netflix and Riot Games, Arcane. Now, I have played League of Legends considerably more than either of you. So let's go ahead and get your guys' takes first, and then I'll go. So, Swede, why don't you kick us off since it is your first appearance on this show, and we'll just throw you in the deep end. Yes, how dare I?
That's rude. How dare you?
Ladies first.
Oh, so we're gonna use that one. Okay, I see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna see you in like 2 weeks.
I know, and all I have is love for you. I'm gonna give you the biggest hug you've ever had.
Oh, for you. I'm talking about Brendan. You're not in trouble. He is.
I'm always in trouble. What's the difference?
That's true. Well, that's true. That's also true. And it's your fault.
It is all my fault.
I've never played League. I have friends that play League. I had no real interest because of the community at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I liked the show with having no background, no context, no nothing. For the most part, I did enjoy it. The story, if you're not paying attention, can get a little confusing, but the animation was really good. The way that they just sort of are slowly kind of diving into how the character development's going and how they're gradually beginning to get more as the game portrays them. The backstory is what I'm enjoying actually the most.
Okay. And Shane.
Oh man, where do I start now? I've never played League. I know what it is. I know about it. I know about the community and some lacking there in the community. But literally, I only know one person that plays it. You may know him. I mean, I don't know. You might not. I don't know. You're kind of him. You know, it's for me. It's really a mixed bag. You know, somebody that's never played the game, don't know the characters, don't know any of the backstories about any of the characters. It was really a mixed bag for me on a lot of different levels. For me, between episodes 1 through 6, I feel there's a lot of story lacking, just because you've got episodes 1 through 3, which I felt were really well done. There was a little bit of confusion in the story at first. Like there's a lot of back and forth and kind of a lot of Quentin Tarantino kind of storytelling in an anime. And then you get to episode 4 and you're like, okay, what happened between episode 3 and episode 4? Like, where is my storyline of how did we get from Powder being this, you know, girl dealing with all these emotional things of losing her friends and, you know, the one kind of like almost kind of like father figure that she has, and her sister, to being where she is in episode 4. Like there's like, for somebody as myself that's never played the game, it's like you missed the continuity between the storytelling in those two, and it really kind of threw things off for me once I started getting to it. Now, once you kind of progress into the episodes, they kind of give you a little bit of a back filler on that, which is okay, and it makes sense, but I wish you would have had that kind of in between, like, you know, starting it off to where, you know, whether, you know, previously, you know, how we talked about earlier, previously on League of Legends, you know, or something like that, or like, you know, something like, you know, 5 years later and starting off with Vi in prison, you know, and that kind of whole conversation, just so you kind of know what timeline you're in, instead of just kind of be thrown into like, what the hell is going on?
Now she's working for the guy.
Yeah, working for the guy that they try to stop in the first
figure.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So, but other than that, dude, I mean,
yeah,
the art design is fantastic. The music is fantastic. The animation, the voice acting, like everything other than that is phenomenal. Like when I first saw the animation in the show, I was like, wow, this is really, really amazing. Like they did a really great job. It almost has like kind of like that Borderland feel to it.
Yeah.
But not as
a little bit softer of a Borderlands feel, because there's not those hard lines that you would see in it's like in a Borderlands game.
Yeah.
Like they don't have those thick black lines, but still kind of almost block-ish cell shaded or cell shaded style.
Yeah. So it's really, really great. It almost feels like that they took the actors and put them in suits and polka dots on their face and captured their motion and basically turned that into the animation. You know what I mean? So it's really, really well done on that end. And just, you know, if it wasn't for that in between where you're just kind of like, okay, you've kind of lost me. Like I completely was not like in like any way engulfed in episode 4 after that. Like I was trying to figure out like, why the hell didn't we know what happened between, like I kind of felt like they were trying to cram 2 seasons into 6 episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it could have, to me, it could have been at the end of episode 3. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be really interesting to see what happens. Like, is her sister gonna try and like find her and save her? Like, what's going on? You know, what's up with, you know, what are we looking at with, you know, character development? You know, because at the end of episode 3, you've got, you know, Silco, like basically, and all of his kind of goons kind of hovering around Powder, and it's like, you know, almost kind of like a Messiah kind of like portrait type thing. Like she's like their new pawn or whatever. Yeah. She's the new recruit. So it's like, okay, so I missed all that. Like I wish we could have kind of like, they could have told that story to kind of fill in, especially for somebody like myself that's never. At the end of episode 3, it kind of ends with, you know, Silco and then all of his goons kind of around him, and then you have Powder or Jinx kind of in the middle, kind of like, you know, it's almost like like a painting of like Jinx is a messiah and they're all like over her, like oh, you know, type of thing. And then you get to episode 4 and you're just kind of like, I wanted more story. Like I wanted, you know,
Powder to Jinx transition.
Yeah, I wanted to see, how did she become like this nut job?
Yes.
basically. So,
Yes.
and there isn't any of that. And for somebody like myself that's never played the games or know the backstories, it's kind of confusing, for somebody that doesn't know these characters, doesn't know the storylines or anything like that. So it kind of just doesn't, it didn't transition very well for me at the very beginning.
Okay. I mean, there, like what you're saying is all like very, I see your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on the show, being someone who has played League of Legends, knows a little bit about the lore. I don't know as much as some other people out there, because there's 157 champions in the game, League of Legends.
That's too many. That's too many. I'm sorry,
And
just a little bit.
And they all come from different places, different walks of life, and so on and so forth. So yes, if they decide to go in through and like introduce all 157 characters, this show is gonna be around for a while. However,
it's gonna be a little messy if they don't do it right.
Yes, exactly.
And then you're not gonna have a good character development either.
I will say, to your point, in terms of the whole entire thing, it's like where Vi didn't go through and find her sister because she was imprisoned. We did get that, just because the whole entire thing of the reveal of the one enforcer who betrayed his boss to get the power, I mean, essentially got literal blood money from Silco.
Yeah, I did appreciate the continuity with that, where he's actually still has it and he doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll give the show credit on continuity and looping back on itself to kind of just reiterate certain specific points, whether that's the actual blood money. That I appreciated a lot, because he feels so guilty working for Silco, but at the same time he's trying so hard to provide for his daughter, which it does look like he's a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well,
it does look like he's a single parent.
And it's like
a lot of pressure.
And the one thing that, because when at the end of episode 3, we see Vi basically get kidnapped. It is him who did the kidnapping. And so the whole entire reveal of Vi's alive, because Silco didn't even know that Vi was alive. It's like she's back from the dead. So so the enforcer gentleman, whose name I cannot remember at this point in time, essentially made it so that it's like, okay, where can I put her that she's not going to be found again? That's going to be jail. As crappy as it's like, as crappy as it sounds. So, it's like, which I felt that added more weight in terms of, it's like the reveal in where Vi was. And we kind of do see and understand why Jinx is going crazy, considering that she has made figurines or totems of her two friends that were killed in the explosion, which she accidentally caused.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that she's trying to talk to them, and the whole entire I want to describe this as Crayola mind freak stuff, where you see their faces. It's like you see this rough outline of their faces drawn very crudely. I mean, to me, that shows like her breaking in that psychotic manner without having to go back and just retell the story. But again, that's from my perspective, knowing that Jinx is batshit crazy already. I said not to swear before the show, and I just did. Whatever.
That's what a beat button is for.
Yes. So, and also, I think it helps if you go through and watch this show as a play. The first 3 episodes are Act 1. The next 3 episodes are Act 2. which between Act 1 and Act 2, it's like in some cases of theater, there is a time skip.
Yeah.
And then the last 3 episodes are going to be Act 3. Now, what we're going to get in Act 3, we're all kind of, it's like, well, I'm waiting very anxiously to see what it is that what's going to happen, because there are so many theories right now that are abounding in the League of Legends universe. But we'll get to those after we talk about the cast. Because
yes,
the
this cast is amazing.
The cast
exploded.
Has some very big it's like nerdy names. Kevin Alejandro, Haley Steinfeld, Katie Lung, and it's like the 3 big ones that we know of. I don't know about the young woman who plays Powder / Jinx, Mia Sinclair Janice. I don't know what else she's done. Or correction, I have not heard much about what she's done. But Kevin Alejandro has done, he's done True Blood, he's done Arrow, he's done Lucifer. Like, his nerd credibility is there.
Yeah. Well, you can't, Josh Keaton as Decker, dude. That guy has got a freaking resume, a stacked resume, dude. He's been the voice of Hercules in Young Hercules, Cheryl in Voltron, Legendary Defender. He was Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 3. He was Harry Osborn in the Spider-Man game. So he's got plenty. He was also, here's another one. He was also Steve Rogers in the series What If.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he was Steve Rogers.
So,
I don't know why I didn't
this dude has got, he's done a ton of voice acting, and it's all really good stuff.
He was also in Dota Dragon's Blood as well. It's like the anime series on Netflix.
Yep.
Oh, I still need to watch that.
So, and then you've got Mick Wingert, who played Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger.
He was Tony Stark in the What If series as well. So,
I didn't know.
Yeah, and then JB Blanc, who's Vander. The only thing I know him from was Accounting Monte Cristo. He was really, really good in that. He had a very, very short, small role in that, but still really good. But the whole cast feels like it's stacked. Katie Luang, or Luang.
I think it's Lung.
Lung, okay.
I think it is too.
Everybody knows her from Harry Potter. So it's just so many names on there, man. It's so fantastic. Like, at first when I saw Kevin Alejandro, I was like, okay, I know him from something. And then I saw Arrow, and I was like, oh God, dude, he was so good in that show.
Yep. It's like
Sebastian Blood, like, he's so good. So, yeah, no, the voice acting is really, really great. And then Haley Steinfeld, we've got her coming up in the new Hawkeye show, but she was also the lead in the Bumblebee movie. So,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so and she was in Pitch Perfect as well. Yeah. And then her first role, I believe, was in 2010's True Grit, if I remember right. I think that was like her first really big role. So, and yeah.
Well, also, it's like I'm sorry, I'm trying to look up the name of the woman who's in The Expanse.
Oh, Shoher. I think that's Agadishu.
I'm not going to try to pronounce it.
Yes, I think it's pronounced Shohira Agadashlu.
Shohira Agadashlu. Okay. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry, guys.
But
that's what we're going to use Brendan for.
She's been in The Expanse, Star Trek. Mass Effect.
Yeah, that's where I know her from.
Yeah.
So like they've done a very good job of like keeping of getting people, and I mean little Milo is voice acted by one of my personal favorite voice actors, Yuri Lowenthal, who's played Spider-Man. He's played the Prince of Persia, Ben 10.
Oh yeah.
Sasuke.
Now the voice is coming to mind.
Sasuke Uchiha in the.
Oh yeah, the English dub. That we had this conversation.
Yes,
we had this conversation.
Yeah, it's like he's Sasuke Uchiha in the English dub of Naruto, and then
that's where I know him from.
Fred. It's like Fred Tasakore. He's Benzo. I know I pronounce his last name wrong all the time. It's like if he ever sees one of these episodes, he's probably gonna correct me and be like, my last name is this. But he's Soldier 76. He was in Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio. Well, he wasn't Ezio, but he was Ezio's uncle. He's voice acted as the Hulk. Like the guy has been around.
Yeah.
But needless to say, it's like, everyone's been doing such a good job.
Yeah.
Of portraying their characters.
Yeah.
Like, just mwah, chef kisses. And so I'm interested to hear I'm interested to hear what you guys think in terms of where it is that this story can possibly go. Because the thing is that I have my theories, but that's because I'm going to be coming from a more educated, in air quotes, standpoint, because I played the game.
Right.
So
I mean, I'll be honest, I have no idea. I mean,
but are you enjoying the ride so far?
It's been up and down. I mean, we kind of talked about this earlier, like watching the show. We kind of talked about this on an earlier episode where we're talking about video game movies, and we're talking about, does the movie make you want to go play the video game? And to me, like watching this, it doesn't make me want to run out and play the game right away. Like I'm okay watching the show, and I'm okay without playing the game. Like it doesn't do anything for me to want to go like, oh man, I need to know more about these characters, or I need to know about everything. Maybe the backstory a little bit, but other than that, like it doesn't want me to be like, okay, dude, I want to go, download the game, spend hours upon hours playing it. It makes me want to do a little bit of research on the characters just to kind of tie in the lost frames that I'm missing, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this now, and Riot might come out of like the ceiling and being like, "Why are you telling people this?" You don't need to play the game to like go through and learn about the characters.
Right.
Because in all honesty, League of Legends is a MOBA. I am more I am more impressed that we got this comprehensive of a series based off of a MOBA. About as well as we did with Dota Dragon's Blood. Like the mechanics of a MOBA aren't difficult.
Right.
There is no story in it's like in the gameplay of MOBAs.
Mm-hmm.
There is story in in the characters that are in the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can go online and if you have a question about Powder or Jinx, you can go find them there. Same thing with Vi, Victor, Jace. I mean, the information's all out there.
Right.
And you don't.
But I mean, like, I don't know. Like, if you're to put it into like a context of like, okay, here's your video game animes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So far, we've had Castlevania, we've had The Witcher, We've had Resident Evil, and we've had this. Like, Castlevania made me want to go back and play the games, even though I've already played them.
Yeah.
The Witcher made me want to go back and play through The Witcher 3 again, because even though I've played through that game like 9 million times. You know, this not so much. You know, so it's just I don't know if it's because, like, unlike you, I don't have a buy-in to the characters like you do from playing the game. You know, there's not that familiarity, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I said earlier, it's really hit and miss for me. Like, I'm glad I'm watching it. Like, I love anime. I love a good anime. And I love the fact that we're getting these. I mean, we talked about it on the anime episode. You know, you're getting more and more of these American-style animes, but are they really American? Because most of them are being made in Korea, or they're being outsourced to Korea. But I love seeing. I love the art style of this. Like, the art style in this is like it reminds me a lot of like the first time I ever saw Appleseed.
Okay.
Just in the type of art style and kind of something different than, you know, straight 2D, you know, ink to paper drawing. You know, it's very, very well done 3D animation with. It really looks like they kind of captured the style of hand-drawn art in a 3D format on, you know, in a digital format, and it's so beautiful. Like, a lot of the time, you know, there's certain scenes in the show where you're just like, wow, dude, this literally looks like concept art for a video game.
Well, yeah,
you know,
and it was cool because I was looking at it and I was like, is this a game still? And I had to like kind of search through some game stills, and I was like, this literally looks like some of the game stills, which was kind of nice. And they did, the attention to detail is pretty spot on when it comes to them being in cold weather, you seeing their breath, the hair movement, like Jinx's braids wrapping around stuff or getting caught in things. Sweat was another thing you notice, and then smoke with the wind and explosions, things like that. Blood pooling, all sorts of stuff. It was just the right amount of realism and the cartoony mixed.
Right.
Just right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Like, the third episode were Vi and Jinx, right? Right. Yeah. Those are the sisters.
Those are the sisters.
They're up on that, I guess, like, water tower thingy or whatever it is, and Jinx is just going batshit crazy with the freaking Gatling gun, and you see off in the distance the guy on the I guess the hoverboard, I guess you can call it, you know, bring something in from Back to the Future. Yeah. You know, and it's almost like you almost have the shadow of the character, but then she like hits him, and then all of a sudden it's very subtle, but you get the blood splatter from a far distance.
Yes.
Like, that type of artistic, just like nuances of stuff. Like, they really did a fantastic job with that. Like,
when they hit the ground. Also, when he's swinging around and doing his own thing, he's bouncing off of stuff.
Yeah.
You see the impact.
Well, and there's an interesting point that I'm going to bring up to you two. Have you noticed the mixture of 2D versus 2D and 3D?
Yeah.
Because when it's like when you have the fireflies, they're whipping around on their hoverboards, their trails are all 2D animation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing when Jinx lights up the flare to try and call her sister. That's also 2D animation.
Yeah, well, even in the fight sequence with Vi and the character that has the robotic arm. Like, when Vi's sitting in there and she's just going in on her, she's like, you just see her hands just doing this on her gut. You're getting I guess the blast or whatever from the impact. That's 2D. Like, it's a beautiful marriage between the two, and that's what I mean by, like, the art style is just so phenomenal in this, and they did a really, really great job with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, I want to marry the art style. Sorry, no.
You're already married.
I mean, that's it's like, I mean, we've had guests on our show before where, you know, something looks pretty, but it's a hot piece of garbage.
Yeah.
This is pretty and not garbage.
No.
Oh.
No, even though I do have my mixed bag, like I'm very positive. The show is on a positive rail for me. Like,
yes,
storyline along the side, like it makes sense. You know, especially talking to you, somebody that's done it. You know, it's seen it from a different perspective. Like it's, you know, I've enjoyed the show. There's no way that I haven't. It's just, you know, they're small little things, but unfortunately those small little things are big things because it's the storytelling, you know what I mean? And that's what drives the show. So, but no, dude, yeah, they've done a fantastic job with it. I mean, when the first episode hits and you get to the opening sequence and the song comes on, you're like, wait, that's Imagine Dragons. That's Imagine Dragons. Like, what the heck? And then I think it was the 5th episode, or was it the 6th episode, where they actually had Imagine Dragons in the damn show, singing the song, animated. Like, that was.
I appreciated that.
That was pretty.
Yeah, no, I'm like,
in the words of my son, that was bad donkey.
When I saw that, I busted out laughing because it hadn't been like 48 hours before that I had watched the music video of Enemy, and it's like they do the music video in that animated style. So I'm
nice.
It was really pretty because I actually went and watched it too.
Okay.
I busted a gut laughing.
Yeah. The music's been phenomenal, man. I mean, probably one of the best like animated scores that I've heard in a good while. Like, it's really well done. That
we also get just from a series.
Yeah,
I'll add that as well. Because normally it's like you see like great sound design and great music along with something along the lines of a feature film. But like I said, the intro music, it's like, well, the opening credits is Imagine Dragons. They throw in the Jinx song, which is what they played when they introduced her character to the game.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh.
So
that's cool.
The tie-ins are nice for those that have played the game. We don't necessarily know that's what that was.
Oh.
But now hearing it, it's kind of a nice tidbit. We're like, oh, they're circling back to the source material.
Yeah, and there are more Easter eggs for those that have played League of Legends. And I mean, like I said, I don't know 100% because one, it's a lot of lore to be covered. I probably have friends that know more about this lore than I do. Yes, but for me, I'm like, I recognize that. And then there were things that were pointed out to me after I had watched the show once, and I had to go back and watch and listen to it again to be like, oh, shnikes, they're right. What are we gonna get? And this I mean, Sweet, do you have any theories about where it is that we might go with the show before I get started off on my tangent? Because that's probably going to take a while.
That's very honest of you. Thank you. No, I like that now they're starting to militarize, and that's very interesting how they're putting up barriers on the bridges, and they're getting the enforcers to start searching people to try to find Jinx or try to get her getting in the city. Now they're aware of her sister, and there's all these issues. What's his name? Jace. Now I've seen some of the artwork for Jace. I know he has weapons and armor and all this other stuff. So now that they're talking about making these items that the common person can use, and now I think they're going to transition and weaponize them at this point. And now they're going to start some kind of war with the Undercity or whatever it's called at this point.
Zon.
Yes. then I hope they kind of touch on the morality of science a little bit more, because they already have with that guy that Victor was with
Heimerdinger?
the large kind of, yeah, no, not Heimerdinger, the creepy guy that had the large
doctor,
axolotl.
the doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
They did touch on the morality of science with that as well. And then with Heimerdinger, again, while it may be able to save this one person's life, how is it going to affect other people? And he's coming from a creature that's lived quite a long time, whereas opposed to humans don't live nearly as long. So I kind of want to touch on I want more touches of the morality of science, because that's always a big one with militarizing scientific discoveries. And now that you're including magic in that, and they already have an issue with magic and mages, and that's why they formed this society. So now what are they going to do when they know Jinx is using large explosives, or if she's combining it with magic? Vi's using magic now. She's going to start using magic. You see it. You see her talking to Jace and wanting to work things out. And I love that she's having this conflict of interest where she wants to help find her sister. She wants to take care of Silco, wants to deal with that problem. But at the same time, she's going to have to work with the enforcers. She already doesn't like Caitlyn, but she's growing on her. Caitlyn sold her gun to save her, is taking care of her, is making sure she gets what she needs, trying to figure out a way to get things resolved, which I really do adore that scene when they're in the underground, kind of in like the
brothel?
Yeah, I was trying to think of a better word, but I didn't.
It's a brothel.
It's a brothel. It's a brothel. I love the brothel scene. I love that she's pushing her out of this comfort zone. She's jumping from things. She's doing all this stuff. She's this prim proper, high society lady, and now she's getting to the point where it's like, all right, you're in a brothel. Woman up, let's do it. And then she's enjoying herself. And at the cupcake thing, the cupcake comment. Oh, she's calling her cupcake. That's not my name. It's Caitlyn. Well, you're so sweet. I'm like, I'm not normally for just forming a ship out of nowhere, but I like this one. But I would like to see where they go with militarizing these tools that, as Jace intended them to be, militarizing tools. A little bit more of the morality of science with keeping variants alive. Things that they don't need to keep, like using magic and all sorts of other things to just prolong lives that don't necessarily, not to say that they don't have value or anything like that, but they're prolonging a life that has clearly met it's coming to an end, and it's like, okay, where are we starting to go into necromancy? Like, where are we going with the crazy mages sort of stuff?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I'm not so much worried about Jinx. We already know she's cuckoo. We see that. I do want to see the spiral, and that's just because that's like a train wreck. You want to watch it. You want to watch it. But I want to see what they do with the borders, the military, the enforcers, and then with these, because he came in so fresh-faced and just really wanting to make life better for everybody else, especially with his partner Victor, which poor thing cannot catch a break. But like, now they're experimenting with that magical device, and Heimerdinger's like, no,
Hex
man.
tech.
And yeah, the hex tech. And now that they voted him off the council, basically.
Yeah, that was a heart-wrenching scene.
Yeah.
It was very upsetting. You watched him go corrupt when he's dealing with the young black woman, and her saying, okay, there's all these deals now that you've put a target on your back. You need to figure out what it is you really want. Do you want the monetary support, or do you want to make yourself a threat to all these other members of the council and higher society? So we're slowly watching Jace transition from, I really want to do good. I'm in a position to do good. I'm trying to get this done. Okay, now we gotta take care of business, and it's really not in the context he wished it would have been.
Yeah.
I
will say that I do not trust Mel. It's like she has been playing it very, very tight strings since episode 1, and I'm going through like, what is this? It's like, what are her motives? Like
Exactly.
I had it's like, but the thing is, I think that Riot and Netflix have done a good enough job to kind of mar those lines in terms of seeing what her motives are.
Yeah.
One, because she's not a character in the game, so we don't. So, or at least as far as we know, she's not a character in the game. She could be somebody from.
That'd be a cool launch.
Yeah, or she could be somebody who like we've never heard of, and they threw her in for the sake of story.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's like, I want to go back to that, talking about that scene where like Heimerdinger's voted off the council, and you can like the weight that like Jace raises his hand with.
He
Like,
was ashamed.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
that is some like,
That's
I
his
really
mentor.
don't want. It's like, I really don't want to do this. You're my mentor. Like, probably is, you know, probably somewhat of a father figure, considering that we only see Jace's mother. We do not see his father. We are aware that his father is in existence, or did exist, and he was around.
Yeah.
But he's not around anymore. And so. Yeah, no, it's like they've done an excellent job of telling the story. And also, you know, kudos to Kevin and his vocal performance in this to like have us feel that weight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have a crap ton of theories.
Here we go. Do I need to go get some popcorn?
Right.
It's like hold on to your butts.
My butt is firmly planted in this chair.
So one character whom there is a ton of speculation about of whether or not he is truly gone is Vander.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Vander has been you know, the father figure to both Vi and to Powder. And he has been basically the boss of the underground for a long time. I mean, in the first episode, it's like, one thing you learn around here, you don't threaten the guy who's pouring the drinks. And then it's like the whole entire bar is silent and looking at Silco's men, or it's looking at Silco's henchmen, and they're like, oh,
We done fudged.
Yeah, right.
We done messed up.
Yeah, that's such a good line though.
But
Exactly. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
So the character that a lot of people are saying that Vander is the character of Warwick. And Warwick is known as the uncaged wrath of Zon.
Okay.
He hunts it's like he basically hunts the alleyways. You know, he's been transformed by experimentation.
Okay. Is he some sort of like? Is he?
He's a werewolf.
Okay.
And here's one. It's like here's a line in Warwick's lore that kind of sticks with me.
Okay.
The deadly beast hidden within a good man.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense. I see what you're cooking now.
Because you never officially saw him die.
Right. No, you didn't. No.
Hit the deck, hit all those experimental bottles, and then slowly started progressing. But he was sitting in there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
And any cuts he would have absorbed as well.
Yeah.
There's also it's like I'm trying to find it in here. Supposedly because Warwick doesn't remember who he was, but one of the things that he does remember are the screams of a little girl.
That could be Vi.
Yeah.
Could be Vi. Could be Jinx.
Yeah.
Or Powder, because she's not that far off away from Vander's, we're assuming, dead body.
Right.
Her screaming for her to come back. That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, Netflix has kind of slipped up in, it's like in terms of revealing another character by the name of Singed, who's in League of Legends, because they've it's been on the credits, I think, and also been confirmed online that he's in the game. And Singed is actually the creator of Warwick.
Okay.
And the thing is that Singed is the doctor who Victor became friends with when he was a child.
Ah.
Oh.
Which we saw Victor go
the
to.
whole entire thing of like, we need to preserve life.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's the morality of science.
Exactly.
This is what I wanted. This is what we get, a werewolf, and we get what I wanted.
Yeah.
I win.
So
I win.
and like
no, here's
go ahead.
Go ahead. Here's my question for you. So, since since being on the outside, in League of Legends, is there? I'm trying to kind of put everything together from the last 3 episodes right now. So,
Okay.
In League of Legends, is there like mech-looking suits like they have kind of like in Warhammer?
That's a good question.
Because of what we saw in their
Yes.
experiments with those energy ball things or whatever, how he had kind of like the glove, and that honestly looked like the Infinity Gauntlet, but you know.
Is it more of a like an exoskeleton sort of thing?
So
Like-
I'm going to have to answer your question this way. It might upset you.
Okay.
Yes,
I mean, it's
and no.
Yes and no.
okay.
There is a character. Well, there is a race. Well, at least in terms of the current patch of what we're seeing right now, there is a whole bunch of. There is a TFT / the game itself. There is a character called Blitzcrank.
Okay.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
Which I call him Blitz Yank, because the fact of the matter is he can just Scorpion,
Kill you.
get over here.
Oh,
Okay.
hordes, not away.
It's like, come here, and it's annoying because the fact of the matter is, it's like if you get hooked in that in ARAM, it's going to equal your death. But they do have mechanized, almost sentient entities, because they showed those in the show.
Yes.
There was the one council member that like had a hard time. It's like his words were not English when he first started speaking, but then it it went into English, and he had a very robotic voice.
Yes.
What those are exactly, I cannot tell you without looking. But in terms of the gauntlets that you see, there is going to be one of those characters is going to, it's like those are going to get picked up by somebody.
Yeah.
I bet it's Violet.
Well, I don't know if they did this after the first 3 episodes, but they did next time on League of Legends after you finished the last episode, and it showed what was Victor's partner's name?
Jace.
Jace. It showed Jace and Vi together using those weapons in a fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and it's funny. I looked up. It's Blitzcrank.
Yeah.
Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank.
Yeah, it's very, very steampunkish looking.
Yeah, and
You get a lot of steampunk.
there's a
vibes.
lot of steampunk in it's like vibe in the League of Legends universe. Caitlyn, Misfortune, Vi, Jace. Who else is steampunky looking? I mean, there's a whole. I mean, there's pirates.
Ooh. I can go with some pirates. I like pirates.
Let's do some pirates.
Well,
Right?
like I
We
said,
got werewolves and pirates and
this is
Androids
also
on
where
that.
the whole entire thing of like where it is that we can possibly go next.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one character who saved Jace and his mother from freezing to death is a character by the name of Rise.
Well, that's convenient.
Rise.
Rise. R
Rising her out of the snow.
RYZE is a mage who basically takes all of the who travels the world searching for the most ridiculous and most harmful of spells and then locking them away. He's a human that has turned his skin blue because he's so full of magic.
Oh yeah, he looks pretty badass.
That's an interesting flex. Now I gotta look this up.
So
he basically in the
He
videos
is very blue.
he looks like a very skinny Kratos.
Yeah.
or a blue Dasalim from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Some Jotun.
But yeah, it's like another thing that we're possibly going to get is we might get some different regions, considering that in Act 2 they mentioned the lead council member said, am I supposed to tell the Noxians that their wine is going to be vinegar?
Yeah, so they're referring to different geographical. I like it.
Yeah, so we could get Noxus versus Demacia. We could see the pirates of Bilgewater. We could see the Yordles of, I forget where it is that they're from, but it's Heimerdinger's race.
They're very
Okay.
Are we going to see Ionia? Are we going to see Shurima? Are we going to see the frozen, it's like other things from the frozen north, which names I can't remember right now. There's literally so much. And it's like, then you have the Forgotten Isles, which has like Mordekaiser, and who's like essentially, Sauron. He is Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
That's a heavy statement, man. You better back that up.
Right. Right.
Look him up, Badaria.
If it's one thing I know, it's Lord of the Rings.
Look Mordekaiser up, and you will see exactly what it is that I'm talking about.
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, don't wait on my account. It's gonna take a minute because I gotta figure it out.
And so the whole entire
there's ninjas.
It's like
There's ninjas now?
There looks like there's ninja. There's a character that looks like a ninja. It doesn't say his name, but he almost looks like Storm Shadow.
You're either it's
I found it.
either there's Yasuo. I mean, again, these are all characters. If Netflix does this right, their potential could be limitless in terms of the show, but they have to do it right. What that right looks like, we don't know.
Right, and you said there's like 157 characters in the game, so I mean, you could, do all of the story. So is it one cohesive storyline, so everything ties together? Or is it
more like the Justice League? Like Batman has his own thing, Superman has his own thing, and there is no Avengers Assemble, or there is no Justice League.
Okay.
It's the MCU without the whole entire Avengers Assemble bit.
Okay.
I mean, there could be something along those lines down the road, considering the Forgotten Isles. I mean, Mordekaiser has died. His soul is technically still in hell.
He does look a little bit like Sauron. A little bit.
See?
I see where you're getting that. A little bit. Don't push your luck.
And the Forgotten Isles basically is you only go. I mean, Mordekaiser, the Forgotten Isles is his playground. He does not care, and he will wreck face if he does it. If he's played right and everything else. But again, where this series possibly goes, none of us can say. It just matters if they do it right. And so far, it is of my belief that they are doing it right.
You know who Mordekaiser reminds me of? Just looking at his armor and the character, it reminds me of Nightmare from Soul Calibur.
Quite possibly as well.
Oh.
Except for his choice of weapon. His choice of weapon being a mace.
Yeah.
Versus a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks like an over steroid pumping Nightmare.
Yes, considering that he's considerably taller.
Yeah. He's pretty badass looking though.
So, you know, if Art's like, are we? I mean, I guess the questions that we have that are gonna be answered next week is: are we gonna get werewolves? Are we gonna get pirates? Are we gonna get ninjas?
Well, I just want to know, because you said so the clan or the characters that are on the hoverboards. You said fireflies.
Yes. Or
okay.
They're fire something.
Okay. So what happens to Vi and Caitlyn? Because they basically kind of kidnapped them and left Powder on, you know, all alone again, which is probably not going to do any more for her psyche than what's already happened. So.
Well, I mean, it's like she's gonna go more. She's more gonna go off kilter than what she already is, and I mean, firelights. Thank you.
I do like
their
masks that have like an owl vibe.
Yeah,
they're all different. Like there was this really cool like bat-looking one.
The bat. There was a rat, a bat, an owl.
Yeah,
and
I wonder if that means they have different jobs or how they do their rankings.
Well, the one thing that we haven't seen, the one character that we had not seen so far that we saw in Act 1 that did not show up in Act 2, Echo.
Yeah, they mentioned that when I looked up a couple of other things, and he does have an adult character.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, and he does tinker, and he was fixing things and shown fixing things. So maybe he did escape and find his way somewhere to where he's able to tinker and experiment. Maybe he ends up finding his way to Jace or something like that, or on the other hand, working for the Firelights or something like that, maybe creating their tech.
Well, Echo's a genius. Echo's a genius in the game. So if they're gonna, it's like if they're gonna go the way that I think that they're gonna go, because Echo figures out time travel.
Watch him be like the leader of the Firelights or something ridiculous like that.
I mean, it's like that is what I'm more than likely, considering it's like, where did the hoverboards come from? We hadn't seen those before.
In that really pretty green color.
But again, this is all like speculation that's gonna have to wait. It's like in terms of time of recording, a week. But by the time that you see it, it's just gonna be 12 hours before that happens.
Right.
If you have any thoughts in regards to what it is that you think is going to happen in the next act of League of Legends Arcane, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. Leave a thumbs up or possibly a thumbs down. I don't know how YouTube's doing their thing anymore because YouTube. But until next time, my name is Brendan, the Nerd of Many Faces. That's been Shane at FDS Cosplay, and that's been the Sassyswede. And we are the Knights of Nerd, and thank you so much for joining us at the round table.